Hey, what's up guys? This is Wild Use, and I just wanted to make a video talking about how I maxed and what my maxing order was. I want to make the video before I forget all the details and then I'm not able to make it. So yeah, we'll just get started. My first 99 was actually cooking, and I remember Hosidius House had just came out, or all of Kourend had just came out, and I remember getting 100% Hosidius favor in order to use the cooking gauntlets at the range. And then at that time, a few mil for me was a lot of money, so I cooked raw sharks and then sold them for profit. It was super easy, super quick, and it was a nice first 99 for me. Next, I did fletching. And all I can remember about fletching was I sat at Castle Wars Bank for ages, fletching and stringing the best longbow that I could at the time. Occasionally, I would spend extra money and fletch bolts for like 5 minutes at a time. Next, I knocked out fire making, and this was pretty basic. I just burned logs until I unlocked Wintertodt, and then I camped Wintertodt until 99 fire making, and I didn't get a tome or a pet, unfortunately. Haven't gotten a pet on my Iron Man either, so maybe one day. So back in the day, in 2018-ish, 2019, early 2019, I was a very big noob at Runescape. I had been playing Runescape for my entire life, but somehow I never did any quests on any account. So when I decided that I wanted to get 99 strength, I probably only had like 75 attack and defense at the time, but I decided to go and camp Nightmare Zone for like a month straight with Darox, and I used a regen bracelet because I didn't even have Barrow's gloves. So after realizing how big of a noob I was and getting 99 strength, and all my friends were making fun of me for not having Barrow's gloves or not having any quests done, I decided to go out and do a ton of quests. So that leads me to my next cape, which isn't, you know, a skill, but it's an honorable mention, and that's my quest cape. So after 99 strength, I did every single quest in the game so that I wasn't made fun of anymore after that. And the 99 strength made it a lot easier to finish all the quests. So next we have woodcutting. Woodcutting was my favorite skill as a kid. I used to want to make a woodcutting pure account, even though that's not even a thing. So I decided that it was time for me to get 99 woodcutting because it kind of matches my name too in the account. So I did all the basic trees until I unlocked teak trees, and then I did teaks until 90, and then I switched over at that point to redwoods, and then I AFK'd until 99 at redwoods. But I did get the beaver pet at teaks when I accidentally crashed somebody. So that was kind of lit. The next skill up was farming. And farming, I trained passively while playing any other part of the game, just like most people. And I actually have notes from my old tree runs and farm runs. So I used to do herb runs for GP passively. And then I was doing palm trees, calquat, magic trees, a celestious tree, redwood, and then the 3 mahogany trees on Fossil Island. So I was probably checking those constantly, and I think I did use the Hespori like boosted plant. I forget what it is, but I was using those so that it would skip a farming cycle every so often, just a little bit more XP. Next, I trained range, and I believe that I chinned in the Monkey Madness 2 tunnels to 90 range. And then after that, I camped a lot of Vorkath, and I think that's what sent me over 99. So that was super basic, super easy. Hit points was next, and obviously I trained that passively with all the other combat skills, and it was just a nice unlock when I got it. So at this point, I wanted to have something useful. So I looked into, you know, what would be the most useful skill to have next, and I could afford crafting, so that's what I went with. And the crafting cape, you know, one-click teleport to the closest bank, you know. So I just attached orbs to battle staves until 99. I did whatever was most cost-effective at the time of training. It was pretty quick, too. Probably only 50 hours or so to get 99. And that's probably my most used cape in the game, besides maybe my construction cape. So super worth it. Super happy I got it done. The next skill I trained was smithing, which was just ass, basically. I wanted to knock another skill off the list to max, and smithing was just easy at the time, so I did 99 smithing at Blast Furnace with Goldsmith Gauntlets, and at that time, I was playing way too much RuneScape, and I think I got 99 in like a week or so, and I basically never want to go back to that place ever again, so... And then our next honorable mention was the Diary Cape, which is what I got next. Yeah, I just knocked out every diary. Now that I had the Quest Cape done, I had a few skills. I thought maybe I should go for the diaries because it helps every other part of the game. The next skill I trained in 99 was fishing. Once I unlocked Barbarian Fishing, I got most of my levels there. But I believe Temperos came out around the time I was doing my fishing grind. It might have been late into my fishing grind, maybe near like late 90s. I played a few games there along the way as well. Herblore was a skill I was waiting to train until I had the money for it. And I think, you know, I sold some of my gear and I thought I'll just knock out 99 then. And I think I got most of my levels through making anti-venoms. And I remember buying limits on the GE being an issue for this, but I think my clan chat helped me out a lot in buying whatever I needed. So next was agility, and I know a lot of people hate agility, but I really liked it. I followed every rooftop agility course when I unlocked them. So I did Canifis from 40 to 60, and then I did Sears until 70, and then Relica until 90. Once I got to 90, I did Artie until I unlocked the last floor of the Sepulcher, which I believe is 92. And then once I unlocked that, I went back and forth between Artie and Hallowed Sepulcher until 99. I think I really liked agility because I was chasing all of the graceful sets, and I was super happy when I finished the Black Graceful set from Sepulcher, so I could just AFK at Artie Rooftop for longer. But then I got the Squirrel Pet, so I ended up going back to Hallowed Sepulcher, and I got the Black Acorn for the recolor. So my next cape, much like the crafting cape, I wanted a useful upgrade, and I know the most useful upgrade in the game was the construction cape. So I did a lot of myth cape racks, probably until like 90 or so, and then my hands were killing me, so I just wasted a lot of money doing mahogany tables instead. And this was a super fast 99 and a super helpful cape, and I wish I would have got it sooner, but it is what it is. The next skill I got to 99 was thieving, and I can't really say much besides I hated it and it sucked. I just did Artie Nights until 99, and it was super boring, and it wasn't insanely quick either. But, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. So Hunter was up next on my list, and Hunter was the skill I knew least about because I never trained it as a kid. I actually probably had one Hunter when I got 99 strength, so I was really not anxious to get into that skill at all. But once I learned more about it, I did salamanders, the best salamanders I could until I unlocked black salamanders, and then I went into the wilderness to use the extra trap there. And then I did black sallies until I unlocked herbivore on Fossil Island, and then I spent all of my time there. I did 80 to 99 there, and I got the pet under 50 KC, and then I got the pet again, I think around 250 KC. So I loved it. It was probably my favorite time training Hunter, so I'll do it again for sure on my Iron Man. The next one up on my list was Prayer, and I think I did it just because it was a quick buyable, and I could knock it out in like a week or so. I just did the basic method of Dragon Bones on a Gilded Altar. I used World 330 and used Noted Bones on the guy in Remington. So it was super easy, super quick, and pretty chill. So by this stage in my account, I only had a few skills left, and they were basically Slayer and combat related. But I also had the slow skills left, such as rune crafting, mining, and Slayer, right? So I decided to do the slowest ones first because I didn't want to end up at the end of the game with all of the slow skills left because I knew I would probably burn out. So I decided to do runecrafting. And runecrafting was probably my favorite skill when I completed it. I did most of my runecrafting at the Zaya altar. I did bloods and soul runes until 99. It was super chill, and it became one of my favorite skills to train. Unfortunately, I didn't get the pet, but I made a lot of GP off the blood runes, which was cool. And I'll definitely love to go back on my Iron Man once I unlock it. So after runecrafting, I tried to get into mining. When I was a low level, I messed around with iron and granite, but most of my time was spent on the top level of Motherlode Mine. And this was a drag for me. It was super slow and hard to sit through, but finishing it felt great. And I was so close to maxing at this point, it didn't really bother me that the grind was so terrible. But I had a lot of friends from my clan who would come out and mine next to me, and it was kind of fun and chill. So after mining, I got my attack cape. And I think early on in the game, I probably trained on rock crabs and Nightmare Zone. But I finally got 99 attack, and it took me forever to do it. But by the time I started training Slayer for max, the combat XP finally started to come in, and I had to force myself to use melee on tasks because I was so used to cannoning or barraging. So I had to slow myself down and train with melee to get that attack XP. And that was super easy. It just comes passively when you play the game. So the last three I actually got all three 99s at my maxing party. So at my maxing party, I got defense, magic, and Slayer. And if you were at the maxing party, you know how badly I messed up getting all three of those at once. But defense was first, and much like attack, it was the same story with Slayer. But I used magic on defensive while training, so a lot of my defense XP came from magic. And then next was magic. And I think when I was early on in the game, I did a lot of high alching. And then I did ancient spells in like the Monkey Madness caves. And then Slayer, really, that's what got me 99 magic, just bursting or barraging all my tasks. And then finally Slayer. Slayer was a ton of fun, and I hunted Jad tasks as much as possible. I think I ended up with about 25 Jad KC by the time I got 99 Slayer. I tried to be uber efficient with cannons and barraging, so I didn't do a ton of bossing because it was slower XP and I was so obsessed with maxing. But I had a ton of fun with Slayer, and it's something I've gone back to after max for Slayer bosses and stuff. Overall, I started my account when Old School was released, but back then I played more RS3 and I didn't really take it seriously until 2018. And I had a lot of fun with this account, and I met a lot of great people along the way, including all of the Ironclad CC that I've been a part of since 2020. And I hope this was entertaining to listen to or gave you some ideas for maxing. And I appreciate you. See ya.